Hello. Hope you're having a good day or morning or evening. Um, we're going to continue reading Brother Lawrence, how he attained continual peace and joy by being close to God, by talking to God all the time. He goes on to say that in the beginning of his monastery time, he spent the hours appointed for the private prayer in thinking of God. And that hit me. A lot of times we try to pray to God, and when we start praying, we think about all the things that we need or what other people need and all the sadness and all those things. And we don't spend time thinking about God. If we stop and think about God, it can bring us joy because God made the universe. He made everything that we see. He made our bodies too. He made our souls. He knows the future. He's already there. He knows the past. He knows the present. He knows our hearts, even though nobody else sees them. Even though we don't understand sometimes ourselves, He knows. And what I really like is that he said when he was supposed to be praying, instead he thought about God. He thought of God, so as to convince his mind and to impress deeply upon his heart the divine existence. Now, it's funny because people say, oh, how do you prove that God exists? Well, it's the same thing about the wind. How do you prove that wind came? You see a tree knocked down. You might see something moving in the wind. But wind technically doesn't exist except by what has happened, and that's confusing. When you're flying in a plane and you come to an air pocket, you don't see the air pocket. There's nothing visual. It's actually felt because all of a sudden, especially in a small plane, you're flying along, you see the beautiful clouds, maybe a few clouds, maybe just a blue sky. And all of a sudden the whole plane just dips and your body drops and that's called an air pocket. And if you want the scientific information, you'll have to look it up because I don't know what makes an air pocket. But it's the same thing with God. We don't always see Him. Probably won't on earth. But He's there. Just like that air pocket that we did not see in the plane, we'll drop or we'll go up high, an updraft hits you. So we cannot say that He does not exist because we feel the experience of His existence. We feel the wind when it blows, but we don't see it. We only feel it. Or we might see the repercussions of the wind. We might see a tree moving in the wind. So that's the same thing with God. We might see the repercussions of God's work, of His love in somebody else. We might see it when we take a walk and see a beautiful flower. Might speak to us. God shows Himself in many, many different ways. So for Brother Lawrence, he would think about these things. He would think of God. And in the Bible, in Philippians, it says, it says, think on these things. Remember, whatsoever things are pure and lovely and just and honest and true. Think on these things. So he would think of God. And by this short and sure method, he exercised himself in the knowledge and love of God, resolving to use his utmost endeavor to live in a continual sense of God's presence, and if possible, never to forget Him. And I was just talking to a friend of mine about this. She is an evangel. She has it in her to bring people to God. She's shown it. She's a new Christian. She's not originally from this country, and yet she has the Spirit in her, the gift to evangelize. And she tells me that she's worried because she doesn't know enough about the Bible. Well, Brother Lawrence, I don't even know if he read the Bible. Everything that he speaks of in his conversations and in his letters are in the Bible. How did he know this if he didn't have the Bible? He knew this stuff because he talked with God, and God told him, God showed him, God gave him the knowledge. And how did he get it? He got it by spending time thinking of God. It's very exciting to me because the people that can't get the Bible in foreign countries, or the people that don't have the Bible or don't even go to church, they still meet with God. God still comes to them, and he talks to them in their hearts. And if we spend time thinking of God, he'll do the same thing with us, and we will know the Bible even without reading it front to back. And this kind of knowledge is what Brother Lawrence is talking about. The love of God. Not memorizing a Bible, not just the head knowledge, the heart knowledge, the love of God and the heart knowledge. And my thing for y'all today and me is to start thinking of God during the day. Think about him. Think about all the amazing things he's done. Think about his love. Think about what he did. He had a child, Jesus, and he sent that child on earth among evilness. He knew ahead of time that Jesus, he had asked to die. He had to sacrifice himself for us. He sent his own son out into the battle against evilness for us. He didn't send me out there. He sent his beloved son, his only son, true son, to take care of all of his adopted children, to protect them. That's incredible. So we should think about God, what he did for us, what he does for us today, what he'll do for us tomorrow. Think of the love he has for us. Think about him and think of him. And we'll get closer. And I wish you a wonderful day, morning, evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. Take care. Bye.